The galaxy was calm on that day, silent, peaceful, and almost sleepy. Stars burned quietly. Planets followed their old paths. Space stations repeated their normal routine. Everything looked normal until the signal arrived. It came without warning. It came without a source. It came with a power no one had ever seen. Across thousands of alien worlds, sensors suddenly screamed in alarm. Screens turned red. Warning lights flashed. Machines that had stayed silent for centuries suddenly woke up like they had seen a ghost. In the capital world of the Zythar Union, a young alien technician named Relkun stared at his monitor with wide, shaking eyes. He had never seen numbers rise so fast. Energy readings broke every limit the machines had. The scanners couldn't understand what they were detecting. They tried to translate the signal, but every attempt failed. Relkun whispered, This cannot be real." Far away, in the throne chamber of the Arvoth Empire, the Emperor's advisors rushed inside with panic on their faces. They carried data tablets full of the same strange information. "Your Majesty," one shouted, "a shockwave is spreading across the galaxy. Origin unknown. Force level impossible." The Emperor, a giant creature with hard golden scales, gripped the side of his throne. He had ruled for 90 years and fought many wars. But the fear in his advisors' voices told him something clearly. This was not an attack. This was not an accident. This was something much bigger. Across the galaxy, every major alien empire detected the same event. A massive wave of energy moved through the galaxy like the beat of a giant heart. But it wasn't destroying anything. It wasn't killing or breaking. Instead, it felt more like an announcement, a signal, a message too strong for normal transmitters. Someone wanted the entire galaxy to hear them. High councils gathered. Military fleets prepared for danger. Scientists argued in panic. No one could understand it. No weapon in the galaxy could create a signal like this. No natural event could produce this kind of pattern. There was also something more terrifying, something everyone noticed. The signal came from outside the galaxy, from the empty void, from the dark place where nothing lived, nothing moved, and nothing was ever supposed to return from. For thousands of years, alien legends spoke about that place. Some called it the Dark Rim. Others called it the Lost Edge. But all species agreed on one thing. Nothing should come from there. And yet something did. In the Selenari Star Assembly, the chief scientist played the signal on a speaker. At first, it sounded like noise, chaotic waves of power. But the more she listened, the more she noticed patterns. Her heart began to race. Her 6 eyes widened. Her voice trembled as she spoke. This is artificial. Someone is doing this on purpose. Admiral Telvrin, leader of their fleets, stepped forward. "Is it a weapon?" "No," she answered. "It is a message so strong that the entire galaxy is forced to hear it." "But what does it say?" the Admiral asked. The scientist swallowed hard. Her hands shook. "It says, 'We are returning.'" The room went silent. "Who is returning?" the Admiral whispered. The scientist stared at the data again, her skin turning pale. "The signature is old, very old. It does not match any species we know. But one thing is clear." She looked at the council members with fear in her eyes. "This signal belongs to a species we believed lost forever." Across the galaxy, more strange events began happening. At the edge of the XY9 Nebula, an entire alien scouting fleet disappeared. No weapons fired. No SOS call. They simply vanished from the scanners like dust blown away by wind. In the Krell Dominion, space stations reported seeing shadows passing through star systems. Giant silhouettes that blocked starlight for several seconds before fading into darkness again. In the Vora Prime colony, miners working near an asteroid claimed to see a long, dark object silently moving behind the rocks. Too large to be a normal ship, too silent to be natural. Everyone felt it. Something huge was coming. Something the galaxy was not prepared for. And then, the oldest and most hidden secret of the galaxy resurfaced. Thousands of years ago, when alien civilizations were young and weak, there was one species they feared. One species they never talked about. A species that disappeared without explanation. A species they once drove out of galaxy because they believed it was too dangerous, too fast-growing, too unpredictable. That species was called humanity. The galaxy had forgotten them. History buried them. Books erased them. Their world became dust. Every alien believed humans were extinct. But now, after thousands of years of silence, humanity had sent a message strong enough to shake the entire galaxy awake. A message no species could ignore. We are coming home. Panic spread like fire. Emergency meetings started everywhere. Fleets moved toward the borders. Everyone wanted to know one thing. Had humans returned as friends? Or as gods? Or as something far worse? As the final seconds of the signal played on screens across the galaxy, one last pulse of energy washed through the stars. Deep, heavy, powerful. Every alien listening felt the same cold fear, because the signal ended with a sound that felt like a giant stepping out of the dark. A single beat, a single tremble, and then silence. The galaxy understood only one truth. Humanity was back, and the void itself had trembled. The strange signal had shaken the galaxy, but what happened next was even more frightening. At the outer edge of the Orion Fold, a small alien patrol ship drifted through quiet space. Its crew expected a normal routine: scan asteroids, check trade routes, watch for pirates. Nothing unusual. But today, space did not feel normal. Captain Ralvek, a calm and disciplined officer, watched the sensors with a frown. The readings moved strangely, almost like the numbers were alive. The crew whispered nervously behind him. "Sir, the stars look wrong," one of the crew members said. Ralvek turned toward the viewing window. He blinked in confusion. The stars, distant suns that never moved, seemed slightly out of place, as if someone had pushed them sideways. "That is impossible," Ralvek muttered. But the crew felt it. Something massive had passed through this region. Something heavy enough to bend the positions of stars for a moment. The ship sent a message to their nearest station. No reply came back. Captain Ralvek tried again. Still silence. "Something happened here," he said quietly. "Set a course to the frontier base immediately." The patrol ship turned toward the base, but when they arrived, their fear became real. The base was gone. Not destroyed. Not damaged. Simply gone. A giant empty space floated where the station used to be. No metal pieces. No heat signatures. No screams. No debris. It looked like the station had been lifted out of reality. Ralvek whispered, "Where are they? Where's everyone?" The only answer was the cold silence of space. Across the galaxy, similar reports arrived within hours. Entire colonies missing. Outposts gone. Long-range beacons silent. Stars flickering like old lamps. Every border empire felt the same terror. Something huge was moving across the frontier, and none of them could stop it. In the Grand Hall of the Zythar Union, the High Council gathered again. This time, their voices shook with fear. Counselor Varn lifted a hologram showing the missing systems. 3 star systems gone in under 1 hour, he said. Not destroyed. Not attacked. They vanished like dust in a storm. The leader of the council, Elder Yamari, stared at the glowing map. "Can it be the same signal we received yesterday?" Varn nodded slowly. "Yes. All paths connect to one source, the dark edge of the galaxy." Another counselor, a large reptilian creature, slammed his fist on the table. "We must prepare for war." "But with whom?" Yamari asked softly. "We do not know the enemy." Silence filled the room. Everyone knew the truth, but feared to say it. Finally, Varn spoke the forbidden name. "Humans?" Gasps echoed through the chamber. "Humans vanished thousands of years ago," one counselor argued. "They cannot still exist." "Maybe they changed," Varn replied. "Maybe they evolved." Meanwhile, in the Arvoth Empire, scientists replayed the final recording from the XY-9 scouting fleet. It showed only 5 seconds of clear video. A massive shadow passed across a star. Not a small shadow. Not a ship-sized shadow. A continent-sized shadow. It moved with smooth, silent grace. Too slow for a normal vessel. Too fast for a natural object. One scientist whispered, "It's like a ship the size of a moon." The Emperor stared at the playback again and again. Each time he felt his breath catch. No alien species had ever built something so large. No known civilization had the technology, the energy, or the material to create such a monster. Only one species had once dreamed of such things. Only one species had tried to build impossible machines. Only one species had vanished into the void with that dream. Humans. In the Selenari Assembly, panic had reached a breaking point. Soldiers, scientists, and leaders filled the war chamber. Admiral Telvrin stood before a giant map of the frontier. Red marks showed every place that had gone silent. "We are losing sectors at an impossible speed," he said. "Whatever is moving to the frontier is bigger than anything the galaxy has ever seen." A young scientist stepped forward, her voice shaking. "We scanned the deep readings, and there is something else." "Say it," Telvrin ordered. She swallowed hard. "We detected a gravity, well, strong enough to bend the entire region." "How strong?" the Admiral asked. "Stronger than a black hole." The room fell silent again. A black hole could swallow a star. A black hole could tear planets into dust. But this was beyond even that. The scientist continued in a whisper. "It is not natural. It feels designed. Designed. Crafted. Created. Only humans had that kind of madness. Only humans built machines that broke the rules of physics. By the end of the day, every major empire agreed on one thing. Something ancient had returned. Something powerful. Something unstoppable. And then, late in the night, the galaxy received a second signal. This one was smaller, but clear. This one carried a voice. A voice old, deep, calm, and unmistakably human. "Do not fear. We are only passing through." But the voice did not bring comfort, because after the message, the galaxy waited. Every empire, every fleet, every station felt the tension in space. The patrols at the frontier could not stop staring at their screens. Something enormous had arrived. Something alive with power, yet silent, like a predator waiting in the shadows. In the Krell Dominion, Commander Vorin paced back and forth inside his flagship. He had commanded hundreds of fleets in his life, but today he felt fear like never before. "Report," he barked. The navigator's 6 eyes widened. "Sir, our long-range scanners, they cannot measure its full size. It is enormous, too big for any star chart, too impossible." Vorin felt his scales tighten. He had faced storms, pirates, even rival fleets. But this was different. A shadow moved across the scanners, so massive it blocked stars for minutes at a time. He whispered, almost to himself, "It's a continent in space." Meanwhile, across the frontier, smaller scouting ships tried to approach the shadow. They sent warnings back, but many never returned. Those that did spoke only of awe and horror. Captain Ralvek, whose ship had barely survived the vanishing frontier, reported what he'd seen. "It moves without engines. It bends gravity as it moves. Our weapons, they're useless. I cannot explain it, sir." Vorin's claws clenched. "We must attack. If we do not, it may destroy everything." "Attack?" The chief scientist shook his head. "No weapon in our galaxy can touch it. Firing will only alert it to our presence." Vorin scowled. "Then what do we do? Stand and wait to be crushed?" The scientist's voice trembled. We watch and pray." Across the galaxy, the shadow finally came into full view. It was a ship. Not a ship like any alien had ever seen. It stretched for hundreds of kilometers. Its surface was black, but shimmered like water. Energy flowed across it in patterns no one could understand. There were no engines, no weapons, yet it radiated power that made nearby ships shake. Their instruments fail, their shields flicker. Alien leaders stared at the live feed. Their mouths opened, but no words came out. And then the ship stopped, silent, still, watching. A smaller vessel from the human ship approached, tiny compared to the megaship, yet it moved with speed and grace beyond comprehension. It transmitted a message across all known frequencies. The words were simple, clear, and human. "Stand down. We do not seek war unless you force it." The galaxy froze. No one spoke. No one moved. No one could comprehend the calm, deadly confidence behind that voice. Admiral Telvrin, in the Selenari Star Assembly, slammed his claw on the console. This is impossible. Who are they? One scientist, trembling, whispered. They are humans. Old humans. We thought they were gone forever. The message repeated on every channel. We come as watchers. We come as returners. We come home. Do not challenge us. But the aliens did not understand the power behind the words. Every empire felt it deep in their cores. This was no normal species. They had mastered forces beyond comprehension. They could stop weapons. They could bend gravity. They could appear where no one expected. They were gods in space, or close to it. In the Arvoth Empire, the Emperor leaned back on his throne, his claws scratching the golden floor. So, the humans return, he muttered. And we are ants. A counselor stepped forward nervously. Your Majesty, we could try to negotiate. Negotiate? The Emperor growled. With something that makes fleets disappear? That bends the stars? No, we must destroy it. But deep inside, even the Emperor doubted himself. Could his fleets, hundreds of ships, thousands of weapons, ever touch a human megaship? Could any fleet in the galaxy even survive an attack? On the human side, the megaship did not move aggressively. Its smaller craft scanned quietly, observing alien fleets. No weapons fired. No shields flared. It moved like it was calm, even bored. But the aliens could feel its presence. Each pulse of energy, each slight bend of gravity, whispered a warning. Do not fight, or you will regret it. And then, for the first time, one alien dared to act. A small fighter, piloted by a brave Krell soldier, fired a test shot. Just one plasma beam. Nothing more. The beam hit the human megaship. It did not explode. It did not dent. It disappeared. The energy returned to the shooter. Back to his ship. Back to him. The Krell soldier screamed in shock. The weapon had turned against him. Every fleet understood the truth in that terrifying instant. These humans were beyond every rule of war and physics. They were untouchable. They were unstoppable. The human voice came again, calm, almost bored. Do not test us. We warned you. And then the megaship moved. Slowly, gracefully. Every ship, every alien, every station felt the universe itself shift. Stars seemed to tremble. Gravity felt wrong. Space itself seemed alive under the ship's passage. For the first time in the history of the galaxy, every alien species felt fear not just of a weapon, but of a being. The galaxy held its breath. Every empire, every fleet, every station waited. They all knew the humans had returned. They all knew that no weapons, no tactics, no fleets in the galaxy could touch them. And now, one final question remained. Would the humans attack? The answer came faster than anyone expected. Thousands of alien ships, desperate to protect their pride and power, launched a full assault. They fired everything they had, massive plasma beams, particle cannons, ion disruptors. Space erupted with energy. Stars flickered as hundreds of weapons hit the void at once. Alien admirals shouted orders. Lasers streaked across the darkness. The human megaship did not flinch. Not a dent. Not a scratch. Not even a ripple. The plasma beams vanished the moment they touched its surface. Weapons overload. Engines shut down. Shields failed. Entire fleets froze in place. Every alien pilot felt it. Space itself obeyed the humans. The rules they had followed for millennia no longer applied. Admiral Telvrin screamed at his bridge crew. How is this possible? Every weapon in our arsenal has failed. One scientist whispered to a colleague, her voice trembling. It's not just power, it's control. They control space, gravity, reality itself. The aliens tried everything. They coordinated attacks. They targeted weak points. They formed massive formations, hoping numbers could overwhelm the humans. It did not matter. And then the megaship released its power. No beams, no explosions. No fire, only silence. A wave of energy rolled through the battlefield, invisible but undeniable. Ships did not burn or collapse. They stopped moving. Engines sputtered. Weapons shut down. The very fabric of space around them seemed to freeze. Captain Ralvek, watching from the frontier, could only stare in disbelief. It's like space itself is against them. Entire fleets drifted, paralyzed. Alien pilots screamed over comms. Some panicked, trying to flee. Others tried to fight back. None succeeded. Every attempt failed. The human megaship moved silently, slowly, observing the stunned alien fleets like a teacher watching children play. And then the human spoke. "We warned you." The voice was calm, soft, but it carried more authority than 1,000 admirals combined, more power than 100 fleets. The emperor of the Arvoth Empire, who had faced countless wars and conquests, clenched his claws. "Impossible," he whispered. "They cannot exist. They cannot have this power." But he knew the truth. Every fleet, every pilot, every planet in the galaxy felt it. The humans were gods of war, not in arrogance, but in ability. They could destroy everything if they wished. And yet they did not. The megaship continued to drift, silent, unmoving, waiting, watching. And for the first time, alien civilizations began to talk to each other, not as rivals, but as victims. They began forming alliances. Pride, honor, and old grudges melted under the shadow of a force they could not fight. In the Krell Dominion, a young pilot whispered over comms, voice shaking. "Sir, do they even need weapons? Just being here, it's enough to destroy us." "Yes," the commander replied quietly. "Just being here." Even in the deepest councils, the realization spread like wildfire. Humanity had returned not to negotiate, not to trade, not to beg. Humanity had returned to remind the galaxy who once ruled it. And still, the megaship did not fire. The humans had all the power, yet chose patience, observation, control. Then, the megaship did something no alien could predict. It sent out smaller craft, hundreds of them. Each one scanned fleets, planets, stations. Each one moved with speed, grace, and precision beyond comprehension. None attacked, none fired. All collected information. The galaxy realized a terrifying truth. The humans were not here to destroy, at least not yet. They were here to measure, to learn, to judge. The voice spoke again, calm, patient, unyielding. "We do not seek war, but if you challenge us, you will regret it." And then, for the first time, the universe itself seemed to react. Stars flickered. Planets shifted slightly in their orbits. Even gravity near the edges of the galaxy trembled. Every alien, no matter how far, felt it. The void itself had noticed humanity's return. For the first time, pride, arrogance, and ambition turned into fear. Every empire realized a simple, terrifying truth. Humanity had returned not as a species to bargain with, but as a force that could remake the galaxy. And in that instant, one thought passed through every mind. Do we fight them or do we survive them? The answer would not come easily. The humans had shown their power. The galaxy had witnessed it. Entire fleets frozen. Weapons rendered useless. Space itself bending under the presence of one megaship. And yet, the humans had not attacked. They waited, silent, observing. For the first time in thousands of years, the alien civilizations felt something they had never experienced before. Awe mixed with fear. In the Zythar Union capital, the High Council debated frantically. Why are they here? Counselor Varn demanded. What do they want from us? A young historian, shaking as she spoke, replied, They are not here for war, at least not yet. They are returning. Returning? Another counselor hissed. Returning from where? They were gone. Extinct. Forgotten. The historian's voice trembled. That is the thing. They were never truly gone. They left willingly to grow, to evolve beyond what we could imagine. Across the galaxy, human craft began to descend closer to key systems. Not for conquest, not for destruction. The smaller ships scanned, recorded, and observed. Every empire watched, hearts pounding. Humanity was studying them, judging them. And then the humans spoke, not over weapons channels, not with commands. Their voice traveled across frequencies that touched every corner of the galaxy. Calm, certain, immortal. We are here to reclaim what was taken from us. We do not seek war, but we will defend ourselves. Every council, every fleet, every station heard it. Every alien species understood it. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not naive. Humanity was unstoppable. In the Krell Dominion, Captain Ralvek watched one of the human scout ships approach an abandoned colony world. It had been empty for centuries, the result of wars long past. The scout descended silently, sending pulses of energy that repaired old structures in seconds. Machines whirred to life. Buildings glimmered under alien suns. The planet awakened as if humans themselves were rewriting reality. Ralvek could only gasp. They are restoring what we thought was lost. Yes, said the lieutenant beside him. Not to conquer, but to reclaim. And they are capable of it. Every system, every fleet, every planet. The realization sank in. Humans had returned not just to the galaxy, but to history itself. To the places the aliens had thought safe from human touch. To the worlds that were taken or abandoned. Humans were claiming their place again. In the Arvoth Empire, Emperor Zorth convened his council once more. His advisors whispered of rebellion, of attack, of surrender. But the Emperor had learned one undeniable truth. Humans were beyond reason, beyond arrogance, beyond fear. They do not seek war, Zora said, claws drumming against the table. But they will defend themselves. And we are not prepared. One counselor spoke up, trembling. Then what do we do, Your Majesty? The Emperor stared at the projection of a human megaship. We wait, we watch, and we pray that they do not see us as the enemy. Even as he spoke, sensors detected new movements. Ships had appeared from the void. Not humans, but something darker, something alien even to them. Shadows moving in ways the galaxy could not comprehend. It became clear. Humanity had not only returned, but they had brought knowledge, allies, or perhaps warnings from beyond the known galaxy. From a place called the Deep Fold, a dimension beyond normal space, where time and energy worked differently. No alien had ever entered it. No alien had survived it. But humans had. They had seen it, learned from it, and evolved because of it. Back in the frontier, a small alien scout ship approached the human megaship directly. It trembled in the void. Its sensors detected unimaginable power flowing through the massive vessel. Gravity, energy, space itself controlled by humans as easily as breathing. A voice echoed from the human megaship, calm, precise. We do not harm unless threatened, but we will not allow the galaxy to forget our place. The scout pilot felt his mind shiver. His fleet, his empire, even his history, everything had been measured by humans and found lacking. And still there was no attack, no fire, only judgment. Across the galaxy, a thought began to spread like wildfire. Humans were no longer the species they once were. They were something more, something dangerous, something divine in their power. And yet, they were patient. They returned not to destroy, but to reclaim, to observe, to restore what was taken from them. For the first time in the galaxy's history, alien civilizations faced a species that was stronger, wiser, and more advanced than anything they had ever known. A species that had been underestimated. A species that had been forgotten. A species called humanity. And as the alien leaders watched, the human megaship slowly turned its sensors toward the next frontier, silently moving forward. Hundreds of smaller ships followed, scanning, repairing, learning, observing. Every action carried precision, patience, and purpose. The message was the galaxy had begun to accept a frightening truth. Humanity had returned. They were not weak. They were not naive. They were something far beyond any known species. And yet, even as alien fleets tried to comprehend their power, a darker threat approached. From the edge of the known galaxy, sensors picked up something impossible. Shadows moved across star systems, fast, silent, and enormous. Energy readings unlike anything before. Entire planets' magnetospheres fluctuated as if touched by a god. Scientists across empires whispered the same words. It is not human, but it follows them. Admiral Telvrin in the Selenari assembly frowned at the readings. Followed them? How is that possible? A young researcher replied, voice trembling. We think it came from the deep fold, the place humans said they had visited. The unknown dimension, where time and physics do not obey rules. Telrin's claws tightened on the console. So, whatever is coming, it is beyond us too? Yes, she said. And it is hunting the galaxy, hunting everything in its path. The humans themselves detected the threat. In the megaship's command hall, the fleet commanders gathered around the central table. They had monitored the deep fold entity for months, studying it, preparing for its arrival. This is why we returned, said one human officer. Not just to reclaim what was taken, but to warn the galaxy, to prepare it, to fight it. Another officer added, it followed us sooner than expected. We cannot wait any longer. The alien civilizations must understand the danger. They cannot face it alone. And so, the humans reached out, not with weapons, not with force, with warning. They broadcast messages to every empire. A threat beyond understanding is approaching. It follows us from the deep fold. Unite or be destroyed. For the first time, alien leaders listened. They could not ignore humanity's power. And they could not face this unknown entity alone. Across the frontier, alien fleets began moving cautiously. They had fought humans in simulations, imagined confrontations in history, and even planned attacks. But now, a force beyond both humans and aliens threatened all existence. The centuries-old rivalries, hatred, and grudges of alien civilizations began to fade. Survival demanded unity. In the Zythar Union, the High Council convened an emergency session. We must work with humans, Counselor Varn admitted. We have no choice. Alone, our fleets will be obliterated. In the Aarvoth Empire, the Emperor stared at the transmission from a human megaship. So, we must follow them, obey them, cooperate. He clenched his claws. Pride will die today, but so may we all. The galaxy had shifted. Humanity's return was not only reshaping power, pride, and history, it was redefining survival. Then it appeared. The deep fold entity arrived at the galaxy's edge. It was a shadow, massive beyond comprehension, with tendrils of dark energy stretching across star systems. Its presence distorted light, gravity, and time itself. Space near it trembled as if reality feared its steps. Ships tried to attack. Weapons fired. Nothing worked. Missiles evaporated. Energy blasts bent back toward their origin. Fleets froze in terror. Admiral Telrin gasped. Even humans, can they stop this? The humans acted immediately. Megaships formed defensive lines around the most populated systems. Smaller craft scouted the entity, analyzing every movement. For the first time, the humans did not wait. They acted, and yet they moved with calm precision, like a general controlling the impossible. One human voice echoed through the void. Do not panic. Stand with us, or perish alone. The alien fleets hesitated. Fear still gripped them, but now hope flickered. They could not defeat this alone. They could not even survive alone. Humanity's power was absolute. Their knowledge of the deep fold was unmatched. For the first time, aliens felt both fear and trust. Ships from multiple empires formed an alliance guided by human strategy. Together, they approached the approaching nightmare. Every human vessel acted as a shield, a guide, a command center. Their smaller ships led the alien fleets. Their megaship radiated energy that stabilized the nearby stars, preventing catastrophic distortions from the deep fold entity. And then, the humans revealed something terrifying and brilliant. Not through weapons, not through fire, not through destruction, but through control of reality itself. The megaship emitted a silent wave of energy. The deep fold entity's advance slowed. Its tendrils faltered. Space warped around it, resisting its motion. Even its massive power could not ignore human presence. Every alien watching gasped. The impossible had happened. Humans could fight something that no one else could touch. Telvin muttered, voice shaking. They are gods among us, and they fight not for glory but for the galaxy itself. The deep fold entity roared, a soundless scream that shook stars. And yet humans held it at bay. For the first time, the galaxy's fate hung by a thread. The deep-fold entity had advanced, tendrils stretching across star systems, distorting gravity, devouring light. Entire fleets trembled. Alien civilizations prepared for the end. Every species understood the same terrifying truth. If humanity failed, nothing else could survive. And yet, humanity did not falter. The megaships aligned in a protective formation around key systems. Smaller vessels flitted between alien ships, guiding them, boosting shields, and coordinating attacks. For the first time, centuries-old rivalries were forgotten. Fleets from dozens of empires worked as one, under human command. Admiral Telvrin could barely comprehend the scale. We have never seen this, not in all history. Humans are leading us, protecting us, teaching us how to survive. A human officer's voice echoed across the void. Form the pulse grid. All fleets follow. Every planet must be shielded. Stand together. We fight as one. The alien commanders did as they were told. For the first time, fear was replaced by coordinated action. Ships moved with precision. Defenses interlocked. Energy shields expanded around planets. The galaxy itself became a fortress. Then came the moment of confrontation. The humans activated their ultimate weapon, the pulse of origin. No alien had ever seen anything like it. A wave of pure creation energy emanated from the megaships, spreading through space. It was not destruction, not fire, not war. It was creation itself, shaping reality, reshaping energy, bending the universe to restore balance. The deep-fold entity shrieked, tendrils lashing out, but every pulse of the human's energy disrupted it. Stars that flickered returned to life. Gravity stabilized. Space warped, but not in fear. It bent to human will. Captain Ralvek, watching from the frontier, whispered in disbelief, They are saving everything, not for themselves, for us. Alien pilots trembled. They had once thought humans were gone, weak, extinct. Now, humans were gods, wielding power the universe had never known. And yet, they did not seek domination. They fought not for glory, but for survival, for justice, for the galaxy. The deep-fold entity's attacks grew desperate. It lashed at the megaships. It tried to devour planets, fleets, even stars. But the pulse of origin countered every move. Every strike failed. Every tendril was repelled. And then, the final wave, a focused surge of energy, bright as 1,000 suns, enveloped the entity. It screamed across dimensions, a soundless cry that shook reality itself. And then it was gone, erased, dissolved, never to return. Silence fell. The galaxy exhaled as one. Planets stabilized. Stars shone steadily. Fleets floated in awe. Every species, every leader, every soldier realized the impossible had happened. Humanity had saved them all. The humans did not celebrate. They moved quietly among the fleets, scanning, repairing, guiding. Every alien commander, from the smallest scout captain to the mightiest emperor, felt respect, awe, and gratitude beyond words. Emperor Zorith of the Aarvoth Empire bowed his head before the human transmission. We underestimated them. They do not conquer, they protect. They are humanity. Admiral Telvrin sent a message to his fleets, voice trembling with awe. For the first time, we understand what it means to be led by true power and true wisdom. Humanity has shown us what it means to be great. Across the galaxy, the humans broadcast one final message to every empire. The galaxy is alive. It is fragile. We have returned to defend it. Stand with us or stand aside. But know this, we will always protect what we call home. And then, as suddenly as they had arrived, the humans withdrew to the outer edge of the galaxy. Their megaships drifted silently, watching, guarding, waiting. The smaller vessels returned to patrol, scanning, repairing, and teaching the alien civilizations how to rebuild. The galaxy had changed forever. Pride, fear, and arrogance had been replaced by respect, unity, and hope. Every species now knew a truth they could never forget. Humanity was no longer a lost species. Humanity was no longer a weak civilization. Humanity was a force beyond reckoning. And every being in the galaxy felt the same shiver of awe. When humanity showed up, even the aliens begged for mercy. And the void itself trembled. The stars shone brighter that day, not just from light, but from the knowledge